Yo,
Am I looking in the mirror?
what a good looking group of guys,
I
huh?
gotta shut the fan off.
First, buddy. By the way, I'm Scott Bossman. That's Mike Zano. We're the Land Geek guys. Happy 2023, dude.
A glass of wine for 2023. What do you say to that?
Ooh, that's pretty sophisticated. I don't know. That might be a little bit above the level of the tracksuit.
And this is the common man. That's where we got married, Laura and I.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Gonna spend a
So,
weekend up there soon.
so Mike Zano, I hope you had happy holidays.
Happy holidays to
Haven't seen much of
you.
you lately.
I know where you been hiding in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah,
You
digging
can't
out
leave
all
your
the
house.
snow
It's
over
like
here.
negative 30 degrees, right? Like you can't even leave the house, can you?
Oh, it hasn't been that bad the last couple of weeks. It's been actually temperatures have been decent the last 2 weeks, and a little bit of snow here and there, but nothing like
Oh well,
out
excuse me.
west.
Someone's opening my garage door. I think my son picked the wrong garage because I'm in the garage mahal, as Tate would say.
The garage
There he goes.
mahal.
Now he's figured it out. Good job.
Good job.
Man,
That's funny. You got a little
sorry about
blast of
that,
cold air,
folks.
I'm sure.
Technical error on the nightcap.
So, everybody, for those of you just tuning in for the first time, we're the Land Geek guys, and we come on ideally every week, maybe every other week, and talk land investing. And I know we got a lot of new people coming in the community, Mike. So this
Yeah.
is a great time. It's a great opportunity for people new to the business to get in here and ask a seasoned land investor like yourself
Or
some
like
questions
yourself.
about the business.
Or like yourself.
Oh, thanks.
You've done a few deals yourself, Bossman.
Done a few. Done a
Just a
few.
few.
7 years. 7 years in. What? You're like 8 years in.
I mean,
Uh,
heck, I think together we've done hundreds of deals.
oh yeah, more than that. Oh, together you and I. Yeah, together you and I. You're
Yes,
right.
yes. No, I
Yes,
mean to get
I
yes. What I
I
meant to
got you.
say is you and I as a combined BZ deal.
I got you.
We've so I mean, yeah, we've done a few deals.
We've done a few deals.
But
I'm trying. I'm trying to share this to.
Facebook?
Yeah, I'm trying to share this to. For some reason, it doesn't go to the motivation group. So I'm going to post this in there. But for those of you watching, please say hello. Tell us where you're from. Tell us how you stumbled across Land Geek,
Right.
and we'd love to hear from you.
We certainly would.
And we also, Mike, we have a hotline. So at the bottom of the screen that you're watching, if you would rather stay uh, inconspicuous
I'll pull that up.
and not post any questions or comments on social media like YouTube Live or Facebook Live, Facebook group, text us on the Land Geek hotline and tell us what brings you to land investing. All
Yeah.
right, now they're rolling in. Woo, we got 30 people in here, buddy.
30 people?
Yeah.
Oh boy,
All
we got to
right.
come up with something witty to say.
We got Brock Norton is here, Kara Chase, Kevin Kirkland, Melanie Nelson, Keith Grant. Okay, now listen. Uh, I know some of you guys are in flight school, and you should be on the flight school office hours call right now.
Oh, you dragged them away. Bad timing
I
on our part. We didn't we didn't think it out that clearly, right? And we kind of
no,
overlapped.
no, I didn't think about it really. It kind of completely, I completely spaced out on this,
Well,
but
they could be doing both. They could be on their phone and on their computer. They could
it's
be double dipping.
it's true they could be double dipping. And nowadays, kids, I don't know about your kids, Mike, but my kids can like have one screen in front of them and watch TV and at the same time. It's like,
And write a college paper all at the same time.
yeah, it's craziness.
Well, people might be wondering what you're talking about when you say flight school, office. Like, what are you referring to?
Office hours hasn't started. Am I supposed to be running it? Okay, so there
There we
may be
go.
an issue.
There may be an issue.
How about how about you? How about you talk for a minute while I do a little digging? Is
Yes,
that
I'll
okay?
entertain the crowd by myself.
You entertain the crowd. Actually, I could double task just like my kids can. They can watch the phone and the TV at the same time.
Okay.
Um, and let me just.
That's okay. If so, all of you that are here, let me pull up on the text line. Let's get some communication on there while Scott's doing that. So I have access to it right here, and give me 1 second. I'll pull this up. There it is.
Sorry, folks. But listen, Jeff Storley's here. Happy New Year. Alex Miranda. It is not my turn tonight. It is not my turn on Flight School Office Hours.
I got
Bobby Jordan is here. Bobby,
Rich, hi
total
from
newbie.
Minnesota to Rich. Rich in Minnesota's on.
Nice. Bobby Jordan is here, total newbie, and he's listening on in the car. So that's kind of cool. Just don't
Yeah, I
watch in the
like
car.
that. I'm
Uh,
hoping my buddy David Yund. I think that's how you pronounce it. I
he's
was
here.
talking to him today. Yeah, he's here.
Yeah,
David, I want some comments.
he's here. He says, watching from Indiana. He read
Yep.
Dirt Rich and fell in love with the land buying idea.
Love it.
Sean Sadler from Kingman, Arizona. Kingman, Arizona. We like that place. Kevin Kirkland.
Is that what we own, like 100 and something properties? I'm just asking.
Yeah, we own a few there. Um, so let me see. I'm still trying to do a little digging here on Flight School Office Hours, and
That's okay. That's okay. You do that. This is the nightcap is laid back. So I would say for the moment, if you're at home and not at work and not driving, go grab yourself a little beverage and start coming up with some questions. We started this about 5 years ago, and we come on here at night because we're looking to engage the people who are sort of working the business at night. Again, you can do the business early in the morning, middle of the day, late at night, and this is a way for us to engage and get some, get a little motivation out there.
I do love this show, Mike. It's nice because um, I mean we get people who just found us, people who are doing the toolkit, people who are doing flight school, people who are doing coaching. Uh, Veterans come in and watch, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of
I
like
think
our
the
own
flight
little
school
mini.
office,
It's
yeah,
like our own
I
little
think the
mini
office
hour-long
hours,
boot camp.
I think
Sorry.
it's going right now, Scott. I think some people just haven't, they're probably in the waiting room waiting to get access. I think that might be what's going on.
Okay.
I have a feeling.
Yeah. I'm just.
Who's over there tonight? Landon?
I'm having a hard time finding it.
That's okay. I can entertain. I can entertain. I can do this.
I know you
Uh,
can.
and does anybody realize that we're wearing the same sweatcetos? So this is
I'm
a
sure no one noticed.
tracksuit business, as we call it. So, these are, we don't get any kickback from Sweatceto, but these are the Sweatcetos that we enjoy to wear. We have a few different styles, and we wear these while we do our land deals, and we walk out and get the mail in our slippers, and the neighbors think we're a bit off, but yeah, that's what we do. No big deal.
All right. Yeah, we got it taken care of. Okay. Now we're good.
Okay, so it's
So,
going. It's good.
folks, yes, be on the lookout for the flight school office hours to get started here. But in the meantime, since it's not up and running, is there a flight school student out there that has a question?
Yeah, let's
Let's
hear
do
it.
that.
We'd love to have some questions. Let me see if I can dig into the.
Here's one from Kirk Wright. He's in flight school.
All right.
Do you have to issue 1099s to LLCs if you buy more than $600 of property? Mike Zano, have you ever done that?
Okay, let's break down the question. They're asking if we buy from somebody, right?
Yeah.
We're not selling to them. And if the property costs more than $600, we have to, I have an incredible accountant, and I don't believe that we've ever issued the 1099s, to my recollection, unless he's doing it behind my back, which I doubt.
Yeah. I'll keep it real simple, Kirk. I've also never done that.
Yeah.
That's a great question for Scott Todd in his accounting for land investor class.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I really don't. Again, not an accountant, just my
Yeah.
personal experience working with an accountant that works with some of the bigger land investors, and we don't do that. So
Yeah.
um, I think there's something where if somebody is your employee and you pay them more than $600, then, but that depends how you pay them as well. That's like if you're using Upwork, no need. The Upwork handles that as part of their,
Right.
the way they operate, which is a really great advantage. This is a great topic. Do you take an Upwork employee and off the platform and hire them outside of that? Sometimes that might attract the Upwork person because they feel like they're going to make more money, but it does create some logistical stuff that, like, I've tried it in the past where people have requested, have done that, but I prefer to keep them on Upwork now on
Yeah,
the
I do
platform.
too because you pay them through Upwork and you don't have to worry about any
And
tax
the
tax hassle.
accountability, it does screenshots and
Yeah.
shows you what they're doing. Not that you should worry about your VA, but it's nice to know that you can look in and see what actually they're doing. It grabs random screenshots and shows you what they're doing. So I think it's a great platform, and for a lot of reasons, and that's a few of them right there.
Yeah, for sure.
How many out there have VAs right now? How many have? Who just hired their first VA? Who hasn't hired a VA yet? Maybe the
Who doesn't
show
know
should
what a
be
VA
about
is?
VAs. What is a VA? Let's talk about VAs. Not a
I've got a
VA.
good top Mike, I got a good topic for tonight too. We can talk about VAs first. We got a
Okay.
lot of questions coming in too. Jason Hempstead, when Jason buys a property, does he have to wait until it's recorded with the county before sending payment to the seller?
Great question. My answer is what we do is yes, we typically do that. Now, there are occasions we use like a mobile notary, and the mobile
Right.
notary will bring the payment to them. But we typically don't recommend cashier's checks. We do a regular check because it has the capability of being canceled should something go awry. But the most protected way you could do this is to have it recorded first, right? And for those of you who are wondering, like, who the heck would allow you to do that? A lot of people. I think
Mm-hmm.
it comes down to the clear communication between you and the seller. If you're unsure about it, well, you're going to transfer that uncertainty to them, right? What do you think, Scott? And in the beginning, you're going to be a little uncertain. It's new, but the more you get comfortable, and people just want to be led down the easy path, don't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of interesting, right? Like if you're on the phone with somebody and they're acting nervous, what do you feel?
Yeah, it transmits.
Nervous.
Yeah,
But if you get on the call and you're calm and establish rapport
yeah,
and present to them that you're there to help solve their problem,
yes, problem solver.
right? Um, it's rare that we run into this resistance anymore, right?
Right,
Now,
right.
initially, when you're new to the game, you might, but you know
Yeah.
what? That's okay. It's growing pains.
Right. And I often tell people be transparent with the seller. Like don't try to be like, "Oh, this is how we've done hundreds of deals." Don't People can sniff out a fake, right? Be transparent and be like, honestly, I want to tell you, Scott, this is my first deal. And I'm going to kind of fumble through it, but I promise you I'm going to be authentic and I'm going to communicate with you at every step of the process, during every step of the process. And I'm just going to be ultra transparent and make sure this is very smooth for you.
I love it.
They'll appreciate that. I really do. I think the authenticity. Well, I'm going to zip mine up now, Scott. You got me thinking I got to get a little
I got the '80s collar going, the butterfly
nice,
collar. Hey,
nice.
no, yeah, totally. Like, establish a relationship with those people. Talk to them about, when you're first starting, right? It's okay to get in a little bit longer conversation with them, just to get, you know, get get your reps underneath you.
I think that what makes a really good intake manager. By the way, what an intake manager is, for those of you who may not know, is somebody who basically responds to all of the seller correspondence. So think about this: send out 100 letters a week or 150 letters a week. You start to generate consistent responses by email, fax, phone, text, all mail, right? All of that. And somebody has to interface with those people. We show you in the beginning, when we go through flight school with you, that you do about 100 a week because it's manageable. You're not going to be overwhelmed with phone calls and all that. That's just going to be overwhelming. You do it in a way that allows you to build the system, build the structure, and then from there, you actually can put a person in that place as an intake manager. You know what I like to think of, Scott? It's like, and we'll talk about the other side, but on the left side, the buy side, they're like a shield. Like, I feel like you're a superhero if you are starting your own business. Like, I feel like underneath there, you should have like the Superman sign because you're taking a brave step. You're
It's
starting your
true.
own business. That's a bit nerve-wracking. And a shield that you could put up, like a Captain America shield, is the intake manager, and that prevents all that noise. It's like boom, shielded. And you know what
Love it.
comes through that shield, Scott? Deals, good deals. They'll say, "Hey, Scott, I got this person who wants to sell. Do you like this deal? Yes, no, renegotiate, let it go, whatever it might be." They're the shield. You're the
Yeah,
superhero, and they're one of your shields.
I love it. Man, the wine is talking tonight, buddy.
Hey, it's the Sweatcito. What can I say?
And speaking of wine, I need a refill, and I am about ready to tap this boy right here, this
What?
bad boy.
What? Whoa, 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 whoa!
Some
Oh,
guy,
some
some guy got
guy.
something in the mail
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
from another guy, and I'm
It's
very
pretty
excited to
strong. Be
try
careful. It's a little
the,
strong.
the Calumet Farm 16-year-old Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Yeah,
Did you know at Calumet Farm, Mike, they've had 2 Triple Crown winners? And this whiskey is in honor of the second Triple Crown winner.
I'd love to say I knew that, but what I really do know is I went to the guy that I buy all my liquor from, and I was like, I need something good for my dude buddy, and he picked that out. So that's
Oh,
really why it came that way.
well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm excited to
All
dig
right,
in
please,
here.
please do.
I've been cutting down on my bourbon. It's a 2023 what do you call those things?
New Year's resolution.
Resolution. Thank you.
But I'm only having fruit, vegetables,
Oh
and
yeah.
and beans. But this is fruit, by the way. So I have
Right,
not
right.
broken the diet.
15 days, right? 15 days or 18 days fruit, vegetables and beans and that's it?
Yeah,
No
because
meat?
day 19, yeah, no, day 19 is Laura's birthday, and we'll go out to eat. So we're doing 18 days of cleaning, cleansing, and revitalizing and
All right.
reinvigorating, all of that.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Um all right, we got comments coming in. Mike, you had asked about VAs. Who has VAs? How many do you have? What is a VA? So a VA is a virtual assistant, and they help us in our business. And sometimes they help us at a very affordable rate, like $5 an hour.
Yeah.
You can find people in the Philippines, Bahamas that work for $5 an hour. Larry Merle, guess how many VAs Larry Merle has, Mike?
First of all, I'm glad you're here, Larry. Second of
Yeah,
all, I don't know what to guess. Tell me.
Larry's got 6 VAs.
Nice.
And that, you know what?
Nice.
Larry's been doing this a little over a year. That guy's hustled this year, man. The fact that,
Yes. He's in
go ahead.
good. I was gonna say he's embracing what I call the GGE,
Oh boy, what's that?
global gig economy.
The GGE. I think he's embracing, and I bet he's read the book Who Not How by Benjamin Hardy.
Yeah, I think you turned me on to that book. Benjamin Hardy. I think you have like a crush on Benjamin Hardy.
I
He's
do a
like
little bit, yeah. He actually
he's
came
probably one
out
of
with
your
it.
favorite authors, isn't he?
He is, and he actually came out with a new book, but I haven't ordered it yet because you know what? I was going to show you this for Chris. For Christmas, I got a whole. I got look at all these that I got for Christmas.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness.
Look at all those. They're all
There you go.
fiction, but listen, this one. Oh, this one I got from my son.
Yep,
Uh,
let's see it.
How to drink. A classical guide to the art of imbibing. So this is adding class to my.
What have you learned so far? I
I
see a
haven't cracked
bookmark
it
in
yet.
there. Oh, I thought I saw a bookmark in there.
No, yeah, yeah. So that's my reading list right now. But
A lot
anyway,
to be learned from fiction.
I love fiction.
I
Oh,
think a
actually,
lot
this
to be
one's not
learned.
fiction. U2 is my favorite band, and Bono wrote a book about. He goes through and he talks about all of his songs, which is kind of
Nice.
cool. I'm
Very
excited
nice.
about that. But anyway, I digress.
We
We were talking about
digress.
Benjamin Hardy. Who, not how?
Yeah, that's a great question to ask yourself is like, and this is what he teaches in that book, right? It's like you need to get something done. You're like, How can I do it? How can I do it? How can I do it? When the real question is what?
Who can
Who?
who
Who
can do
can
it?
do it? Who can do it for you? And in this GGE global gig economy, there's there's a number of people out there at a very affordable rate that can do this for you. They can be your Captain America shield. Or, hey, Wonder Woman has a shield too. Either one, right? Boom.
Boom. Boom. Here's
Boom.
another book. Here's another book, another Shield book. You ready? So
I'm ready.
it's all VAs tonight. We're talking VAs, we're talking Who Not How by Benjamin Hardy. Here's another great book that talks about outsourcing and working on your business instead of in your business. And it's by Mike Michalowicz, if that's how you pronounce it, who
Isn't that
wrote
the guy from Profit
he
First?
wrote Profit First, but he also wrote Clockwork.
Ooh.
And Clockwork is in the same vein as Who Not How.
Now, I don't know anything about it, but it sounds like when people say your business runs like clockwork, I mean, it sounds like
Yeah,
you got click, 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 like things are falling in place, like the gears.
exactly, exactly.
Well,
And it,
that's, yeah.
I think those two books, I mean, they're right up land investing alley. They really are.
I feel like you could take one book and almost dive, dive into that for at least a quarter of the year, half of the year, maybe a whole year, and really
Yeah,
implement what they're talking about, right? You could go and read a whole bunch of them, but you might just take one and seriously implement, right? The strategies and the concepts.
you know, that kind of segues into my topic for tonight, but we got a lot of comments coming
Let me see if I have any comments on
in.
the.
Andy, and I wonder who that is. They just fired their VAs. LOL. Starting over. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, yeah. What's the saying that you can hire slow and fire fast?
Yeah, yeah. And you're going to fire VAs in this business until you find the right one. Sean Sadler has an intake manager.
He's got a
Um,
shield.
yeah. Let's see here. David Yund has a question.
All right, David.
I know it takes several deals before you actually feel comfortable with the system. How long did it take for the business to feel natural for you guys? Natural. That's a
You
great
know,
question. It's all
it
about
is.
reps, I think.
You're right, and I think I've said before that I came to this business looking for a side hustle to pay off debt,
Yeah.
not to be a quote unquote lane investor. But honestly, David, I don't know when that transition happened. All of a sudden, I was just like, wait a minute, I'm a land investor. Like, and I think it would go back probably similar to going to the gym and like when do you actually become, like that type of person who goes and is fit and all that. I think it just happens that gradually over time with that commitment. In fact, that's a word I've been using quite a lot lately. The word commitment, because to work this business or any business, but we're talking about this one, and you have some goals you want to accomplish, you have to make a commitment, just
Yeah.
like getting fit, right? And if you make that commitment, I think there will be eventually that shift into that naturalness of it, right?
Yeah.
Where you really just embrace it, and I always like we say it's like brushing your teeth, combing your hair, um, buying and selling land. It's just what you do.
Mike, I think about honestly any other profession. So, as a physical therapist, right? My first year as a PT,
Yeah,
I was like biting my nails a lot, wondering if I was doing the right thing,
right,
right? But as you see 15 patients a day and you keep doing it and the repetition occurs, right?
right,
And
right,
you as a firefighter, I bet
right.
you in your first year as a firefighter,
Yeah.
you probably weren't as confident as you are
No,
now, right?
no, no, no. And you realize that like nothing is ever perfect. Nothing goes but you're always just constantly adapting. And if you're in the moment, you're adjusting and you're getting the job done, no matter what it is. And I think it's the same thing with land. Constantly moving your feet, constantly progressing, and growing. Like Keith's out there, my buddy Keith Grant, we were talking about like 1% growth a week, or just a small percent. And you're going to keep moving forward and making some big changes.
Yeah, and I think the land business is the same. Like year one, I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing half the time. year two, you're gaining some confidence. Year three,
Yeah,
you're like, okay, you know what? I think I know what I'm doing here, right? Year four and five, well then, like you've put in how many hours, right? Then
right,
um, you're becoming more. I don't want to say I'm just saying you're becoming maybe more of an expert in your field as the
right,
time goes on there, right?
right,
So I think if you, as a land investor, like if you just keep showing up and you keep learning and you keep immersing yourself in this, like you
right,
do anything else that you've done, in 3 to 5 years, you're going to be very confident.
right. And if you have a powerful reason, a powerful why, if there's something that's driving you to this to do this business, and you combine that with a commitment, you're going to succeed. It's
Yeah,
all it takes is, as my buddy Bossman would say, stick to itiveness.
stick to itiveness. Yes,
And I don't think you can use that in Scrabble, although I'm sure you tried.
that would be a hell of a Scrabble word for sure. Uh, Keith Hufford. Keith, nice to see you. Hopefully, Debbie's sitting there next to you with a glass of wine. We have a couple of VAs. We are finally getting to stride where we know which tasks each of them handle well. One has really increased our sales leads via Facebook and Craigslist. Awesome. That is amazing. Um, that's really cool too, Mike. Let's say, I mean, it's cool to see results on your own, right?
Right,
So it's cool to maybe convert a lead. Actually, we talked micro and macro wins. Like initially, when you start putting email addresses in your buyers list platform, that's kind of exciting. Like, oh, look, I got 5 email addresses today. I got 10 email addresses. I got 50 email addresses this week. They're
right,
all going in my buyers list, right?
right.
And then you convert somebody and you get a sale, and that's exciting. But what's even more exciting is when someone on your team does that for you
Right.
and your hands have been off of it.
Yeah, and all you do is you see all of a sudden in your email you get a notification for an e-signature on a land agreement that it was sold by your team, and you're like, okay, pretty good.
Oh, nice, right?
Yes, yes.
There can't be a better feeling than that. That's awesome.
Now, I was thinking about today because I have a computer over there where I have I like to call them team members. She's a VA, but she's a great team member doing all the Facebook leads. And I just come down and like I'm doing my thing throughout the day and look over there and the computer just brrr, all stops happening. It's like, man, that would have been me years ago, right? Doing all that,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be able to do all the other things that I wanted to do during the day.
right.
But it's happening. It's on its own. But you know what? You need to build that.
Yeah.
You have to invest in them. You can't just expect them to be up and running right away. How many hours does Scott Todd typically talk about in flight school it takes to, isn't there like a number that he references? I don't know if it's 30 hours or to really bring someone into their spot
Oh, to hire a VA and like
and
have them
really
trained and
implement them and have them naturally doing the job.
yeah, I don't know what the number is, but
I don't,
yeah,
for
I
some
mean
reason, 30 hours is sticking
it's
out,
like
right?
30 hours or 50 hours or something like that, right? Yeah.
But then the, it's on its own. It's on
Right.
autopilot.
Right. Yeah. It's awesome. Keith does have a question. We're transitioning from a pass-through sole proprietorship to an LLC. Are we able to sell property in our names and have the buyers pay the LLC? Oh, Keith, we can't give legal advice, especially on the open air of the internet, because
Especially while we're drinking alcohol. That's a great question, but it's a little bit into the legal side or the accounting or yeah. So I hesitate to answer that one, but I'm sure it's a simple
it
answer.
may be beyond the scope of the nightcap call with drinks.
Yes. Let
But
me see if I have a text line.
every once in a while, Mike, as you're growing your business, you come across these things, right? You come across, okay, what if I restructure something? Or would it be better to do it this way? Or what accounting technique do I employ here? Or what bookkeeping technique or that type of thing? And
Right.
what I would say, and I think what Mark would say also is like, we are the educators of land investing, where we're going to teach you step by step by step how to
Right.
do a land deal, right? Some of that other stuff, you maybe need to branch out a little bit and get advice from someone else in,
Right.
real estate attorney, business attorney, accountant, that type of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, sometimes people ask too, like, oh, what sort of entity should I have? Well, there's different reasons why you might have an LLC versus an S corp or something,
Right,
right? And so for us to sort of recommend that would be bad, right? You need to have somebody who is intimately looking at your all the data around your finances and your situation, and they can make the proper recommendation to you. So
right.
I have a question from Rich. He says, do mobile notaries work with self-close? I was told by one they will only sign off the DK from a title company. Here's the thing. There's a lot of mobile notaries out there, and some of them will say, "Oh, you can't do that," or "I don't want to do that," but there are plenty that will. So that's why, we use them quite frequently. Over the years, we've used them quite frequently, I should say. And I've had some of them, we'd reach out and they'd be like, "Oh, no, we don't do that," or whatever. But that's okay. Just call the next one, and
Yeah,
there'll be somebody who'll do it.
yeah, exactly. Go notary shopping. Uh,
Notary shopping.
yeah, no issues there. John Davis has a question or maybe a comment. Let's see. Question. Hey everyone, I have my first seller finance set up and we will both be signing on Monday. Nice. My question is, do I have to have signings and notarization on the same sheet, get mine get mine done, send it to him, have him sign and notarize it, send it back, or can be done on separate pages? Also,
Wait,
is it
back up.
necessary?
Is he buying a property?
No, first seller finance setup. So
Okay.
I think he's selling a property on terms. I could be wrong.
No notary needed.
And his question is also, is it necessary to also have a promissory note along with the land contract? So, John, we teach when you're selling on terms, promissory note, land contract, purchase sale agreement,
Yeah.
notarization, Mike Zano?
No. And those are all embedded in the software that we use. That's a nice advantage of, this LG Pass, the Land Geek proprietary automated software service or system, is that all these forms, these documents from the offer letter to the deeds when you buy property, deeds when you sell, to seller financing documents, the three you just referenced, they're all embedded in there. I like to say they're baked into the software and there's no guesswork. It just, they produce what you need when you need it.
Right, right. And no notarization needed. Um, yeah. So, congrats, John Davis. I would be interested to know the numbers on that deal. So,
Tell
if
us
you
the
don't mind
numbers.
sharing, you don't have to. What'd you buy it for? What'd you sell it for in terms? It's always fun to hear the numbers,
Let's
right?
hear the numbers. Yes.
Ooh, Larry Merrill, that's a good one. What is your favorite way to raise capital to grow your business?
Okay.
Mike Zano.
Well, what I've done in the past is I've worked with when I needed it years. It's been a while since I've needed it, but when I did need it, I would work with an investor where um, it was a 50-50 split on the deal. So that's a very simple way. I mean, here's the thing. You can take straight debt, but sometimes people get a little anxious about that because they have a payment they have to make and they haven't maybe sold the property yet, right? So that makes it sort of, I mean, you'll make more money in the long run, in my opinion, because you're going to get that money at a cheaper rate. But there might be a little added pressure because you have payments you need to make and you may not have sold the property. Whereas if I partner with someone on a deal, they're understanding that when the property sells is when they get paid. If the property has a default and I have to resell it, there's no money coming in, therefore they're not getting paid either. But you give up more of it, but it is sort of it's more mental ease, if that's even a way to say it. So typically what it would be is if it's a 50-50, there's many ways to do this, but ways I've seen it
60
done.
40, 50 50.
Right. It was a 50-50 split on the profit, which might equal 60-40 on the cash flow, 60 to the investor, because if you play it out over the long haul, it equals about a 50-50 split on the profit. So I think for a lot of people that might be more comfortable because it takes away that pressure of like, oh man, I got to make this payment but I haven't sold the property yet, as opposed to when the property sells, I'll make payments.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, you can get a lump sum from somebody too and pay him back interest,
Yeah,
right?
there's so many ways to shake this, right?
Um, yeah, I mean, you can, grandma or dad or Uncle Bobby, uh, they might be willing to give you, 20 grand and sit on it. And, they're expecting to pay out a year from now making 10% of the money, right?
Right.
Um, there are other options as well. I mean, there there are small business loans, right? You could, when you get into this, maybe couple years in, when you're making some money and that type of thing, like you could get a loan.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would right now with the interest rates, but a couple years ago the interest rates were really good, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's an opportunity. Um, yeah,
I've seen people do things as well where there's a tiered sort of return to the investor depending on how long the property sits. So if it's sold right away, they'll take less. And as the timeline goes on, they might want more of the profit. So
right.
that incentivizes you as the investor to move it quickly.
Yeah. There are services out there like Fund and Grow. You heard of them, Mike? Where
Yeah, I
they
think we've
basically,
talked about them. I haven't used them, but I've heard people talk about them. I think
yeah,
you and I maybe talked about that a few years back.
yeah. So they basically set it up so they get you a bunch of credit cards and you can actually buy land on a credit card and then pay it back over time. So that's a way, like if you're needing money for a bulk deal or something like that, and you're going to wholesale them. What else?
Some
Trying to
people
think.
use home equity line of credit,
Oh,
right?
QR. What about QR? What about loaning yourself money from a qualified retirement plan or a whole life insurance policy?
Yeah, two great and very unique options, right? Where you can fund your own deals through some very creative methods.
Yeah. What about growing your business with a buddy,
A dude buddy?
a dude buddy? I mean, seriously. Okay. So there have been times I
Yes.
was never on Mike Zano's level. So here's Mike Zano. I'm kind of down here, right? So
This is such
like,
a joke when you say it like that, by the
like,
way. That's so not true. I think in many ways, Scott, you've surpassed me.
but no. But like,
Yeah.
here's the cool thing about our community is you make connections with people and you can do deals together that you would not have been able to do on your own,
Yes.
right? And in the long term, that will grow your business more
Yeah.
quickly, right?
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Uh, so that's something you can do as
And
well,
again, sometimes people, when they're newer, might enjoy bringing a partner in because it's another set of eyes on the deal. And it gives you that sort of reassurance that, oh, yeah, you see what I'm seeing? Yeah, I see what you're seeing. Yeah, that's a great deal. Oh, whoa, wait, did you see this? And so there's that other added benefit.
right? Uh, Kelsey Elizabeth is here. Kelsey, what is going on? She is uh, a friend of ours. Do you recommend buying with cash if you can, or do you get loans to start? So well, okay. So what I'll say is this: uh, when you are starting in this business,
Yep.
you don't need a lot of money,
Hmm.
and you can buy land even still in this country for $500
Or less.
or less. We like to buy the land with cash, put it in our asset column, and control it,
Mm-hmm.
and then sell it. We can sell land in four ways, Mike.
Ooh.
We can
Okay.
sell it for retail cash, we can sell it on terms, we can sell it wholesale, and we can sell the note.
You can also land out it.
You could land arb it. So five ways.
By the way.
But um, so what I would say is that uh, in the Land Geek community, we are typically buying all of our land, putting it in our asset column, and then turning around and selling it. The good news is, if you have $1,000, you can start. If you have five to ten to $20,000, you can start. You don't need 40, 50 grand like you would on a down payment on a home. If you're going to do some flipping or whatever, you don't need 80 to 100K if you're going to do a franchise.
Right. Really, what you need is to just make the commitment that you want to do this. And if you get deals under agreement, you can always find the funding. I'm very, very like adamant about that. Like it's so true. Number one, find the deal, get it under agreement. Number two, seek the funding, whether it's your own or somebody else's. You control a deal that's 25 cents on the dollar, you are going to have people that are willing to work with you.
Yeah, that's such a mindset thing, isn't it, Mike? Like, all right, and this happened to me. and maybe I don't know when you and I got into this 7, 8 years ago. Um, Maybe it just wasn't talked about as much or that type of thing. But um, like I felt limited because of the dollars in my bank account. If I had to
Yeah.
do it all over again, I would not stop mailing like I did back in 2016 because the numbers were going down in my bank account. I would keep mailing because when I get a signed purchase agreements from someone, like you said, I control the deal
Yes.
and I could literally find a buyer the next day in the Facebook group. If I'm buying it at 25 cents on the dollar, I find Mike Zano in the Facebook group, I sell it to him 50 cents on the dollar. I don't necessarily need money in my bank account to do that.
Right. And it's because I may have buyers waiting and I'm willing to pay a little bit of a premium because I didn't have to mail for that property. I know I'm going to flip it quickly. And so I would take advantage of that opportunity.
Right. Awesome.
You
Let's
got
see.
some property for me? That's what I'm thinking. Is that what you're saying?
I always have property for you, Mike Zano. Patrick Clark. Do you have a recommendation for a CPA firm that is good at the land business? Patrick, I do not. I have a lady actually in town. She doesn't want much more work, so I don't have a firm. Um, but I bet if you went to the Facebook group and posted something in there, you'd get people chiming in. Oh, you know what? Lloyd Ippolito, Mike.
Yes.
Lloyd Ippolito is a bookkeeper and a CPA, or he's a CPA, and he's a land geek. I'd recommend Lloyd.
Yeah. There's a number of people out there, right?
Yeah,
Uh, it's great to go in the Facebook group and see. I use a guy named Craig Cody. He's pretty amazing. But there's all kinds of people out there. How's that taste?
dude, this is really good. Really, really good. Pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
Pretty good. Um, Larry Burrow, the Dude Buddy GGE. I love it. John Davis bought, okay, so we asked him the numbers, right? He bought two adjoining lots at tax sale. Oh my gosh, Mike, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
He bought
Lay
two
it on me.
adjoining lots at tax sale for $50 each.
Oh
Had to
boy.
hire an attorney to foreclose, which cost him $1,100. So
Okay.
he's $1,200 into these properties. He's
Yeah.
selling both for $7,000 to the neighbor with $500 down and $100 a month for 8 years.
That's a pretty sick return.
$100 a month for 8 years. That's 9,600 plus 500. That's $10,100, and you're $1,200 into the deal. What are you doing,
Checking the text line.
John Davis? Uh, Cheers to you, buddy, for an amazing deal. Those are the numbers we love, right there.
That's really good. Those are really good numbers.
Really, really good numbers. It's not quite as good as that deal we had, Mike. It's
No,
getting
that
there.
was. I feel bad even talking about that one. It's crazy.
uh, Jasmine Salinas, what's up, Jasmine? Who has experience on subdividing in a hundred acre property? That's a good
Mm.
question. I would post that in the Facebook group. I bet you get people chiming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you done much subdividing, Mike?
No, not a lot of subdividing. I often tell people our model is very simple. We're like an inch wide and a mile deep. We buy the property and we cash flow it. There are other
Turn
plays,
and
there are
burn,
other
baby.
moves, turn and burn. There are other moves, other plays where you can do subdividing and whatnot. But you can keep it simple as well. But that sounds like a great opportunity, and I hope that we get some updates on that on future nightcaps.
Future nightcaps.
Future nightcaps.
Another question from Kelsey Elizabeth.
All
Mike
right.
Zano, you're in Massachusetts. Have you physically been to all the properties you bought?
No, never. I've only visited one location because we were buying like an incredible amount of land there, and the seller wanted us to visit it. So we did visit that. That was one time. That's the only time I've ever been to any of the properties.
I've been to two properties. They happen to be within a couple hours of where I live, but I would say that's They comprise 1% of the deals I've ever done, less than that. Um, so yeah,
It's funny because really, to most of us, probably properties are two-page documents. They're pieces of
I
paper.
know,
They're just deeds.
right. And now
It's
they're
very interesting.
electronic deeds.
Yeah.
Um, awesome. Oh, we got lots of comments coming in. We got 5 minutes left. Mike said he was getting tired. He worked at the fire station yesterday. By the way, he doesn't have to work anymore. He wants to work. I don't know what's up with this guy.
Well, I'm working with my son. He's going to be on the truck soon, I
Okay.
believe. And we're going to do a little work together, and then I'll probably hang up the helmet.
Oh, that'll be something.
Yeah.
You can have
But
like a big retirement ceremony and like,
well,
do they retire your number?
no, no, no. But every fall, we do have a nice retirement dinner for all the people that retire within that year. And we take all the trucks out of the truck bay. We set up tables, and some of the guys cook an incredible meal. And the brand new guys, they serve the meal. All the old retirees come. It's a great, great night. One of my favorite nights of the year.
Do family and friends come?
No,
Just the guys. Are
just a
you gonna
guy.
have a?
I've seen a couple people maybe over the years bring a family member, but by and large, I'd have to say 99% of the time, it's just for the guys.
That's awesome. I want a
Yeah.
brotherhood like that. I'm gonna like form a firehouse without the firefighting.
We could have a land fraternity.
Yeah, I'm gonna form a frat. And
Uh-oh. Landfraternity.com. Is it available? Let's go.
you better check. Let's see here. Jason Mendoza's here. What's up, buddy? Funders are the no-brainer option for me. Funders are awesome. Larry Merle says Lloyd is awesome. He is Larry's bookkeeper. Sean Sadler, I'm thinking of mailing and buying in Texas, but if a default occurs, term sale in Texas, it seems requires you to go to court to regain possession. How do you guys handle defaults in Texas? Sean, if you have the toolkit, I believe there's a workaround in the toolkit for
There's a
that.
whole chapter in there on that. Yeah.
Um, Jason Mendoza, you can even lock up the deal and have them do the work and get 40% of the profits. That's true. Ann Anderson is asking Jasmine where the 100 acres is. Let's see. Mark Becerra. Hey there, team. Good evening. Does anyone use a realtor in their process? I have used a realtor probably less than the fingers I have on this hand, less times
Is
than
that
the
including
fingers
the
I have
thumb?
on this hand.
Jeez, say that five
However,
times fast.
yeah, boy, this whiskey is strong, dude. Uh,
Only gonna
however,
get through 4 more minutes. You got this.
I think in the appropriate market, I think it's a good strategy.
I've used them, I've used them in certain instances just because, you know, when I go to an area, I want to dominate the area. I talk to all the players there. I'll talk to realtors, and if I find out they have someone interested in a property and they can move it quickly, then I have no problem handing it off to them. But that's not. Um, that's just so. Yes, I've done that. It can happen.
Area. Do you know how you used to say area? The word area, area. You used to
Yeah,
say it. You used to say it area, area.
area,
Oh,
area,
it's still there. It's still there.
area.
Yeah, it's still
How do
there.
you say it in Wisconsin?
It's area.
You're so like on point with your pronunciation. Look at that.
Yeah.
Come on, join this dialect. Come over to the New England dialect. You'll have
Join
more
the
fun.
dialect. I do it
It's like
just
shorthand for speaking.
yeah. That's for sure. Shorthand for something. Let's see here. Keith Grant tells you to retire. Steelbuck is here.
I know,
Uh,
Keith. I agree.
Steelbuck is wondering about flight school. Steelbuck, drop a line in the
Hotline.
on the hotline, and we can talk about flight school. For beginners, Mike, we have two journeys, and they're completely different journeys, completely separate journeys. You got the toolkit, do it yourself. You got the flight school, we do it with you. So it just depends on what journey you want to take.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. There's a guided journey and there's a do-it-yourself journey. I have my buddy Dennis, Blackerberry, Black, I always say it
BlackBerry,
wrong. Blackerby have
BlackBerry.
recently bought over 20 lots in Luna County. Marketing in progress. He says, relax, don't get worked up when things don't move fast. Dennis, That is so true. I'm glad to hear that from you as well. What a great guy.
Dennis,
Um,
that's awesome. That was
yeah,
nice meeting him at the boot camp.
yeah.
Speaking of
By the
boot camp,
way, boot camp is like a couple weeks away.
we got a virtual boot camp coming up. Virtual boot camp coming up last weekend in January. So if you
Yes,
want to spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday in your sweatcedo, because this is a tracksuit business,
especially
and
virtually.
and you want to learn all about land, 8 hours Friday, 8 hours Saturday, 3 hours Sunday. Your price of admission is the investor toolkit. Come to boot camp. There's going to be 150, 200 of us there hanging out for the weekend. And even the virtual ones, Mike, are a great experience.
Yeah, it's very laid back. I love the in-person better because of the networking and hanging out, but I'll tell you, for just ease of access to great information, the virtual ones you can't beat.
Yeah, yeah, the virtual ones are awesome. And you can, like I said, come in your tracksuit. Tracksuit. A couple more comments. Patrick Clark. That's funny, Patrick. Never realized there was an On Alaska in Wisconsin. He heard it on the podcast and wondered what the heck I'd be doing in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. That's funny. Yeah, on
That's how
Alaska.
cold it is. They have the word Alaska in it.
Let's see. All right, Jasmine. Jasmine is getting all sorts of questions about her 100 acre deal in
There you
Texas.
go. More whiskey.
Woo! Let's see. Atlanta was awesome. Atlanta was awesome. Mike, do you remember? Not only
Yes.
was the boot camp awesome, I showed up way late though. I felt left out because
No, we still had a great time.
we still had a great time. But do you remember the pool on the roof
Yeah.
at the hotel? It was
Yep.
beautiful weather.
Yes.
We had a
Yes.
cigar.
We had everything going on.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Good
Hanging
stuff.
out with all some great people. At first the room was kind of tight, but it
Yeah,
all worked out, because we have a separate room for the VIPs. Those who are in coaching go to a separate room. But it was really an interactive crowd, really great people.
yeah. It was a ton of fun. So I think we should end on this. So we got the virtual boot camp coming up in January. We do have a live boot camp in Las Vegas in April,
Yes.
and that in my opinion is a magical event. I love that event. Uh,
Yes.
so we'd love to see you in Las Vegas in
It's gonna
April.
be better than last time. It was like August and we were dripping sweat.
Yeah, it's gonna be much better. And remember last time it was like at the height of COVID, we had masks.
Oh,
It was just
that was,
craziness.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, Las Vegas in April. We'd love to see you all there. It's so awesome to be in a room full of 150 land investors for a weekend. Um, and what's also really cool is that people keep coming back. You see them over and over again because they
Yeah.
love the event so much.
Because you see it from where you're at. If you're new, you're going to focus on something that's, in the beginning of the process. But as you go on, and you've learned that and you sort of really got comfortable with it, you're going to be seeing something else. So, you can truly learn over and over at these events.
Yeah, for sure. People are wondering where to sign up for boot camp. Go to www.thelandgeek/bootcamp. And if you have the investor toolkit or if you have flight school, you get unlimited tickets to the virtual
Beautiful.
boot camp, and you get 2 live tickets. I don't think the registration is open yet for Las Vegas, but the registration is open for the virtual. So
Nice.
www.thelandgeek.com/bootcamp. Mike, I can't even believe you haven't even mentioned.
I, where'd you get that?
Haven't even mentioned.
Is that a hologram?
No, it's not a hologram, but it's a very cool Star Wars
One of the kids
light.
get you that?
Yeah, the kids got me this, and there's different things you can put in here. I'll put a new one in next week. Different
Oh,
than R2D2.
all right. Very cool.
Pretty cool stuff, huh? And you
Pretty
can like
cool. Yeah.
change here. Let's check this out.
What's the next big TV show we got to watch on like in the old Star Wars universe? What's coming
Well,
out?
The
I saw
Mandalorian's
Andor.
coming out in Mandalorian March 3rd, something like that.
I loved Andor.
Wasn't Andor amazing?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. All right. This is what you do as a land investor. You play with your Star Wars toys all day. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to save my topic till next week. It's such a good topic. I was so looking forward to it, and then you hijacked it with the VA topic. Mike Zano, we got 40 viewers tonight. I think this is the time slot. 9 p.m. Eastern. It's got to be the time slot.
All right, let's do it.
We coming back next week?
Of course we are. Next week will be Wednesday night, though.
Wednesday night next week. It's church night, Larry. But please come. Thank you,
you all
guys.
for coming.
Have a good night. We'll talk soon. Jeff Storley, thank you. Hopefully to see you in Vegas. Thank you, Ann Anderson. Thank you, Patrick Clark. Larry Merle, as always. We'll be talking to you later. Oh, we didn't even talk about the T-shirts. Mike, we're going to talk about the T-shirts next week. Okay. Whew, so many things to talk about. Night, everybody. Yasmin said this was amazing. That's so nice. Good night.